Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. And today is the 25th of the month, so we'll be doing my holiday card hijinks hashtag for the month, which is a holiday / Christmas challenge that I have on the 25th of every month, as I mentioned. And I provide prompts for these. You don't have to follow the prompts, but it is helpful and it provides a bit of a challenge. If you're the type of person who likes to do whatever they want, that's fine. But if you need a little bit of inspiration, I think the prompts help with that. And the prompts I will list at the end of this video, but they are also on my Instagram. I have them pinned at the top of the page. I do have to update the image for this month just because I did update the hashtag a little bit, because there is already an HCH 2025 hashtag for a conference in, I think it's Maine somewhere. They use the hashtag, so for it's some kind of like homeless conference that they have. So I decided just to add the J in there. Hijinks is 2 words anyway, it's not one, but anyway, so if you want to participate, the hashtag for this month is Winter Wonderland, and the hashtag on your socials is hashtag HCHJ2025. And if you are posting, just make sure you tag me so that I see it, and then if I see it, I will put it up on my socials as well, and give you a bit of a shout out. So for today's hashtag, which again is Winter Wonderland, I am using this Warmest Wishes stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. It came in the surprise box that I bought a few months ago, that I just got last month. So it was also in my bin of things to use, so I thought I would use it up. These trees look amazing. They're a little bit annoying to color, which is one of the issues I have with tree stamps, is especially with this one, because there is so much detail. I do love the images, but they're just a little bit annoying to color because it is trying to get into those small areas. I did go out of the lines a few times. So you see me here with the white gel pen just cleaning up those lines. Ideally, I would not have done this if I had decided earlier that I was coloring the edges of these after I cut them out, but it is what it is. And you can't really tell that I added them, but like when you color over that later with the alcohol markers, it doesn't color the way that the paper does. It does leave it a bit lighter of a color, and it is, or can be, a little bit more noticeable. So I'm just stamping, coloring, and stamping those again. And then for the ink blended background, I'm starting with a colored cardstock just because it's easier. You don't have to do as much blending. You don't need to use as much ink because you already have a base of that color. Like, it's not 100% matched to anything that I'm using, because I'm using the Morning, Twilight, and Galaxy from Simon Says Positively Saturated line. And there are more purpley blues, which I like doing for winter scenes. It's really fun to use these. Blues are a little bit different than the other ones that I generally use. And yeah, it's just, this is the time that I do it, is like nighttime scenes. And I'm just ink blending them in ombre pattern, lightest to darkest. The lightest one I probably didn't need to use. I think the majority of it gets covered up. There's a very little of it at the bottom that shows. But, you know, you don't really figure that out until after. So it's good to ink blend the way you would if you were using the full panel, and then if some of it gets covered, some of it gets covered, whatever. So I'm just arranging my trees. I'm going to cut a hill out of my Hammermill cardstock, which is a cardstock I use for everything. I use it for my card bases, my coloring images, my layering images, and everything else. Usually if I do matte layers, I'll use the 65 pounds from Michaels, or any of my colored cardstock is mostly the 65-pound line, but the white cardstock I use my Hammermill 110 pound, I think it is, the bright white. And again, that's what I use for everything, so that's what I'm cutting this hill out of. And then I want that tree in the middle, the big one, to be on top of the panel, and the other ones will be behind it. But I also want to cover the bottom trunk of the tree a little bit, just so it looks like it's sitting in the snow. So I'm going to use a pencil here in a minute and just kind of like mark out where I want that. And I'm just going to cut a little bit of a slit into that panel so that I can kind of tuck the tree trunk into it. But first I'm going to glue these trees down, and then before I get to this, because I want to prop up this snow hill on foam tape, I was like, oh, I should probably add the sentiment. I'm going to add the Let It Snow sentiment onto this, and then I'm going to heat emboss it with white embossing powder. And then this is me placing it now. And I'm doing this first for one, it's easier before you put all your dimension on it. And two, I want to ink splatter this. Well, not necessarily ink splatter, but like I want to splatter paint on top of this to give it that snow effect. I did spray some water on this panel because these inks are water reactive, which gives it a little bit of texture. But if you want even more dimension and texture, and again, this is the Winter Wonderland, so we want to have some snow in the background. I'm also going to splatter the background with a white acrylic ink, not ink, sorry, white acrylic paint. Just like the cheap bottles that you can get at the dollar store. They work great. You just have to water them down a little bit and then splatter paint it, which you'll see here in a minute. And I'm also going to be using my Gonzai Tambi, I think it's called Starry Night. It's all like the silvers and the golds watercolors. And I don't know if I just didn't mix it up properly. It shows up on the white area a little bit because it is a little bit more silver in color, but it does not look like it shows up too much on the blue. Again, I think it's just a little bit too watered down and I didn't mix in the paint enough of it because I kind of sprayed the water on top of it, let it sit while I did the acrylic paint, and then I kind of like stirred it up a bit and then splattered it. So maybe just like stir it up a little bit more than what I did and it would show up a bit better, because I've used these before on cards and it's usually not a problem, but this time it's a very subtle glitter splatter in the background, which again is fine. You get enough of the texture with the water on the water reactive inks and then the white acrylic paint. I just wanted to add a bit of glitter for a little bit extra, you know, sparkle and shine, because I feel like every card needs a little bit of sparkle and shine most of the time. So yeah, I'm just using my guillotine trimmer to cut this down. I could use a pair of scissors, but I thought it would be easier just to use the guillotine trimmer to make it a bit straighter. And like this card could be done as is, but I also decided to take somewhat coordinating alcohol ink markers and go around the white borders. I cut this out on my brother's Scan-A-Cut. I don't have the dies for this set. I might invest in the dies. I didn't pay for the set itself because again, it came in a surprise box that I bought. So it was like $60, but there was like over $300 worth of goods in the box. So this came in with it. And then it didn't come with the die set, but like the die set I could buy separately on the website. It is still available. I checked. I didn't use it again, but I am linking it below in case you guys want to have it. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of like blend these white edges into the background. I think these would have been fine to keep as is now looking back at the card, just because it almost looks like it's adding snow to the edges of the branches, if that makes sense. If you guys also see that, then let me know. Or I'm just crazy. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'm just coloring in the edges just to make it look kind of like I stamped them on the background and then did like some sort of masking technique to ink blend the background or whatever. And again, I'm just using closest available markers. I probably should have picked a different color for this lighter blue at the bottom here. It is a little bit too blue compared to the color in the background. Like it's very light blue where it should be a little bit more of a purpley blue. But it doesn't bother me that much, and we're going to be splattering the background anyway, so it's going to cover up a majority of it. And here I am with the watercolors, the silver one, so I sprayed a little bit of water in that and letting it sit, and then I'm adding water to this acrylic paint. I did have to like keep adding water to it because I'm trying to fill up the fan brush here. I don't use the fan brush very often, but I did decide to use it today just because I wanted a little bit more fine splatter. I didn't want big huge globs of it. There's a few areas where they get a little bit bigger, but like not too many. The fan brush is really good for that just because of the way the bristles kind of like spread out. And then here we are with the silver. This is just the latest color in the set. There's like a silver, and then there's different types of gold. There's like these light color gold, like a yellow gold, a red gold, and another one. I don't use these very often, but I do love them. I'm going to do a video soon of things I'm not going to be buying. This I would definitely buy again, but there are other like paint products that I've bought that I've been wanting to use, but like not wanting to use, but I bought them, so I might as well use them. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a video for that soon of things I probably should stop buying. But yeah, that's pretty much our card for today in my ramble. I'll be back on Friday for a Get Creeping video, and again on Saturday for a Plan With Me video, so stay tuned for those. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. Join along with the hashtag if you'd like. Again, just tag me and the hashtag on my socials, and if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe so you don't miss future videos like Fridays and Saturdays. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye.